Alrighty, guys, I think we are live, and welcome to the sixth installment of the CarrGuy and SixFan. And that, oh, bear with me because I'm hearing myself in the background. There we go. And Kip, I'm hearing some noise that you were making reference to earlier. Anyways, guys, we are live here on the CarrGuy and SixFan show, and this week, our SixFan half of the show is unable to make it, so that means we have a special guest. So before I introduce our special guest, we're going to take a look through the chat room, and we're going to see who all has joined us. And it looks like we've got Craving Cars has come in here. We've got Kip from America to Bumper. Rust Belt Mechanic is in the house. We've also got Terry Eford Garage, and I think I saw S&R Motoring. Guys, thanks for joining in. Doug Sweener is here. Thanks, Doug. And Impacts Garage and Gaming has joined us so far. So, guys, before we get going too far, I want to introduce our special guest, and I am going to turn it over to our special guest to say hi and give a little bit of an introduction on himself. So let's see here. We will unmute, maybe. How do I do that?
I unmuted it on me. Maybe that works. How's that?
There you go.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is Kip. I'm from America Bumper to Bumper. I'm very appreciative to be a part of the live stream. And my channel, I mostly do car shows, go to car shows and look at all the cars that are there. Might be some changes for this new season. And I'm, again, very happy to be a part of this.
And thanks so much, Kip, for stepping in on Grant's behalf. Grant had a prior something that kept him, an engagement that kept him from being here tonight, but he may be joining us in the chat a little bit later on. And we've got Winnipeg Car Life has joined the chat there, as well as Josh, Snydertron 3000. Thanks, Josh, for being here. And I say again, Doug Sweener again. So basically what we're trying to do here, guys, with this live stream is we're trying to help grow each other. It's not just a grow Old Car Auto Guy and grow Grant Straight Six Fans channel. It's anybody who comes into this channel. We want to see everybody grow. We have our own goals. We want to reach 1,000 subscribers, but we also want to get you guys subscribed and hooked up with each other. So if you see somebody in the chat that you don't know and you don't recognize, go ahead and check out their channel. But don't just go and subscribe in hopes that they're going to subscribe back. Get involved. That's part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to build this community. So get involved with their channel, comment, like, and be a part of their growth as well as they will with you. So that's kind of what we do here with this channel. For those of you who are new, who haven't been here before, my name is Jason, and my channel is Old Car Auto Guy. And my channel focuses on my used car lot and the kind of the ongoing things that we do within that car lot, you know, the selling of cars, the inventory that we have, the fixing of cars, as well as anything related to it. Also, once in a while, we get into some shenanigans. So that's always fun, fun part of the channel to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to break up this live stream into a few segments. And the first segment that we usually like to talk about is called Automotive News. And we split this up between myself and Grant. And today it's going to be Kip. So Kip, you had a little bit of something that you wanted to talk about as far as the automotive industry goes. So why don't you take it away?
Sure. Have you guys ever found a car that you look at, or maybe you've had a car and you've gone and traded it in, and when they give you that number for the trade-in, you go, you've got to be kidding me. You know, those cars that have stupid, insane resale values. The car that, number one, always comes to my mind is I had a Buick Rendezvous. SUV. It was all-wheel drive. It was 7 seats and all this stuff, and had lots of issues when I traded it, but I still got an insane. It was almost $5,000 worth of trade-in value on it. And it's not one of those dealers that just kind of does it to, try and make you feel good. I mean, this was what they were really, they wanted this vehicle. So what do you guys think? What do you guys, out there, have you seen that has stupid resale values for what you're, what they're looking at, what you're getting? What about you, Jason?
Well, yeah, in the chat room, it kind of it somewhat leads into what my topic was, and these guys are bringing up talking about Jeeps, having a high resale value, and I know that Rust Belt Mechanic works in a Mopar garage, so he sees a lot of that stuff. But Jeeps tend to have huge resale value, and I see it in my industry that I don't even buy Jeeps for my dealership simply because of the fact that they're so expensive to buy. And as we look into that next topic that kind of ties into mine is I mentioned the Jeep Gladiator. What do you guys think about the Jeep Gladiator? Is it going to be as successful as the Wranglers have been in the past and keep that resale value? What do you think, Kip?
I definitely think that the Gladiator is going to be a huge seller for Jeep because I think with all the research I've done that the mid-size truck market is one of the hottest segments in the industry. So I think Jeep's not going to have any problem getting rid of these. Are they going to be as popular as the Wrangler? Probably not, because I think the Wranglers have their own little niche, but they're gonna be good sellers, and especially with diesels. Once they get the diesel in there, I'd love to have one myself.
Yeah, I would too. I really enjoy the idea of the Jeep Gladiator. It kind of fulfills that market that the Dodge Dakota kind of left behind.
Yep. And the silliest thing is I saw a report about how Dodge is trying to decide whether they're going to bring a Dakota-sized vehicle back, and like, you kind of already have one. Why clutter the market and take sales away from your Jeep?
Yeah, I see we've got a few new faces kind of showing up in the chat room there. We've got Nacho Dad's Garage, Uzo Lou Garage. Corey Suttles has joined in. Corey's a new subscriber to my channel. Thanks, Corey, for jumping in. We've also got Easton Music Ministry showing up there in the chat, as well as, who else did I see down here? Mrs. Naturally Nollins. My guess is Mrs. Naturally Nollins is from Nollins. Maybe she can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Welcome, guys, to the channel. My name is Jason, Old Car Auto Guy, and with me is Kip from America, Bumper to Bumper. We're talking cars here a little bit.
Yeah, it's good to be a part of a larger community than what I normally get. So this is great.
So we're going to move down into the next topic of discussion with the show, and that is some channel updates. And this is where we just talk a little bit about some of the new things that's kind of coming and going within our channel. And somebody has already mentioned, I think Carrie in the chat, that they've noticed that my subscriber base has jumped significantly and that my channel is growing. And yes, it has. And I want to take this opportunity because I know that Rust Belt Mechanic is in the chat, that in his most recent upload last night, Rust Belt Mechanic gave me a shout out. And I want to thank him personally right now, which I've already done through private messages. But he has given my channel another boost, and the subscribers have been rolling in. And, part of being a small YouTuber and trying to grow your channel is getting your name out there and getting out and putting yourself out there. And that's kind of one of my tips that I want to kind of emphasize on any of these smaller channels that are in the group, is don't be afraid to go to Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and become part of other people's live streams like you're doing now and get noticed. Because the more you communicate, the more you put yourself out there, the more people are going to see, and they're going to say, okay, well, let's go check out this guy's channel. Is he yay? Is he nay? Do I like it? Is he personable? Whatever. You know, does he have, you know, good edits? Does he have whatever? Whatever you can do to put yourself out there, the more people who can see you, the more people are going to want to be a part of what you're doing. So, so thank you guys for that, because I've had a pretty huge game. We're going to talk about that coming up. So Kit, maybe you can talk a little bit about maybe a tip or a struggle that you've dealt with in the past about your channel.
Oh, the biggest struggle I have, and a lot of it is just, you know, where we are. It's content. For me, trying to find companies that will let me go and review their cars has been a bit of a struggle. But the funny thing is, I have, when you're talking about Facebook, is I have a much stronger following on Facebook. I have almost 700, almost 800, you know, followers there, but I can't seem to get them to come over and check out what I'm doing, you know, on the YouTube. That's, you know, the other big struggle is how do we get those people interested in what I'm doing in the, you know, places like here. So, but you know, I know that it's all a process, and eventually they'll get a hold of it.
Yeah, I see that we've got a few others kind of jumping in there, and S&R Motoring says the S and the R are in the chat, and I can only assume that the R is Randall Beer. Am I correct with that one? Thanks for joining in and being a part of the channel, guys. I see a lot of you kind of looking at each other's profiles and jumping back and forth, and I understand that you know, that's part of growing, is reaching out to some of the people in the chat, as I said before, and checking out their channels and making a commitment to be a part of their community. Let's see what else we got on the agenda here. So before we go too much further, Grant wanted me to make sure that if Craving Cars is in the chat, which he is, and thanks for being here, that I mention to everybody that's watching that Grant says he shoots high quality video and is somehow under 200 subs. So let's try and get this guy boosted up in his sub count, guys. Go in and take a look and see what he's got. He is from the Kansas City area, I believe, and Grant says he's going to be at the World of Wheels show in Kansas City area this weekend shooting some content. So if you're near Kansas City or near Grant, then you should go and check this show out. And Craving Cars will be there, and Grant invited him to watch the live stream, and here he is. So thank you, Craving Cars, for being here and being a part of this. I hope that some of these guys will kind of go over to your page and check you out and see what you're all about, and give you a subscribe. And I'm going to put your link in the description box below after we go off air, so that if people go later, they can kind of check down and see what you got.
I know I'm going to be heading over there.
Yeah, I will head over there myself and check that out. We've got BS Small Engines in the house. Welcome. And we're going to move on to our subscriber count. So Grant wanted to give an update on his, and he says that he is currently sitting at 885, up 12 from last week. And once again, this week I'm going to blow Grant out of the water with my sub count, and simply because of a couple of things. So one is the shout out that Josh Snyder gave us. Oh, was that mine?
No, that was me.
Okay. So the shout out that Josh Snyder gave both Grant and myself last week, I'm still growing from that. And then I get the shout out from, Rust Belt Mechanic, who I have gained, I think, 40 subs just since last night alone. Again, thank you. Not to mention that, like I said before, I have been putting myself out there into other live streams in the Small Engine Nation group of guys, and I've been gaining some subscribers there. They helped me reach the 700 subscriber mark last night. And as I sit right now, before we went live on this live stream, I was at 740. So a huge thank you to everybody who has come aboard the Old Car Auto Guy channel and help spread the word and make this channel grow. It's really appreciative. If you only knew how appreciative I was, you know, I just wish I could reach through the screen and kind of give you guys all a high five, and it's really appreciated. I'm so thankful for that. Let's see here. I'm going to, at this point, maybe Kip will just kind of open up. We're really kind of rolling through this quite good here tonight, and I haven't given you a whole lot of chance to talk. So if anybody has any questions for myself or for Kip, we're going to open up the chat there right now for you guys to see if there's anything that you want to have answered or any questions about anything. Go ahead.
Sure. I'm just going to throw in where I'm sitting for subs, and I got to say thanks to Corey Suttles, who's in the chat room. He just subbed to me, so that now brings me up to 284, which is definitely a big thumbs up. And I can't wait to go through a lot of these other names I've been seeing in the live stream to go through and check out your stuff as well. Yeah, any questions you have for me, guys, lay them on me. If you guys have followed the channel and any advice to try and make my stuff better, I'm all for that sort of stuff too. I recently took you up and started TubeBuddy, because I know you talked about that in one of your other live streams, and it's definitely helped with getting some better views on the on some videos that I've done. So that's really cool, and it's definitely, if you're under 1,000 subscribers, $5 a month is, it's at least it's worth it for me. I know some people like to do the free stuff, but I don't think it's bad at $5.
It's definitely a great place to get started, because it gives you so many tips and tricks in itself, to tagging, to making sure you got proper titles that you're tagging within your titles as well. So TubeBuddy is a great opportunity if you haven't done it. There is a free version for that as well. It's somewhat limited, but there is a free version for it. We did have a couple of questions come out of the chat, Kip.
Okay.
And the first one was, what was your favorite? What was your favorite manufacturers? And they're asking both of us. So you go ahead and answer that first if you want.
I'm a GM guy. I've always been a GM guy. Our family has been GM. I do like some older Toyota stuff. I think the reliability behind them is really, really good. But thinking back on most of the cars that I would want in this world, and they're pretty much a Chevy or a GM product.
Yeah, and growing up, I guess as a kid, my dad was always kind of into the GMs as well, and but for some strange reason, he must have dropped me on my head when I was a teenager or something, and I became a Mopar fan. My very first vehicle ever was a '83 Dodge D100. It was a step side, short box, slant six, leaning tower of power, and that was my very first vehicle. The second one after that was a Plymouth Sundance. After that, it was a K car.
Oh, Sundance!
I've had these Chryslers for quite a while. Countless Dodge Grand Caravans for my wife, and like I said, I must have fell and hit my head on the wall or something, because I continue to be a part of the Mopar Nation in that aspect when it comes to classic vehicles. But deep down, my roots do run into the Japanese brands, so I'm huge on Toyota and Lexus as far as reliability and cost of ownership. If you go back into some of my earlier videos, you'll see that I had my wife had a 2006 Toyota Sienna van, and we put almost 400,000 miles on that van. So the reliability really sold me on Toyota.
Yeah, definitely. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against any of the other manufacturers. The only one that I'm not a huge fan of and I'm sorry to say this for Bubbles' sake, but I'm not a huge Hyundai or Kia fan, just because I don't think the reliability is quite as good as everybody else. But love Mopars. Yeah, I would take anything. That's the honest thing. If somebody was going to give me something, I would take anything. But GM definitely runs deep.
Rust Belt Mechanic says, "How about a good old AMC?" Well, I'll tell you, if somebody threw an old Javelin or an ANX in my driveway, I certainly wouldn't turn it away. I can tell you that right now.
Totally agree. Yep. Okay. Classic,
let's see what else is going on in the chat there.
Looks like Classic Ride Society has joined us.
Yeah, welcome, Classic. And I think I saw another name in there that I might have missed. Francis Urban Spirits Vlogs. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're getting some benefit out of this channel.
What's the oldest car that you've owned, Jason?
The oldest car that I've owned, I still own it, is my Cordoba.
Okay.
It's a 79, so that makes it a 40-year-old car. So I've never really owned anything older than the 79.
Yeah.
But I will, because I really want to get myself into an early 70s or late 60s Chevrolet pickup at some point in my lifetime.
Excellent choice. Yeah, I agree. I'm right there with you. The oldest car I had was 79 Buick Regal. Fortunately, that car was not roadworthy at all, so I can say I owned it, but it never saw the road.
I've had a few of those vehicles that should never have been on the road. Let's see, going through the chat here. Jay Young is in the house. Welcome, Jay Young. And Toolbox Footage is here, and Mach 1, Mr. Mach 1 has made it into the chat room. And oh, look at that, Sixth Gear Garage has joined us as well. So thanks, guys, for joining us. And don't forget, if you haven't hit the like button on this live stream, please do that now. It really means a lot to me. And don't forget to check out everybody else's channel that is in the house. One Man Shop is here. And Eford Garage is still here. We're all kinds of people tonight. We're up to 21 people in the chat.
Looks like
Settles is still here.
Toolbox Footage. I don't know if when he joined, if we mentioned him.
Yeah, so guys, we do have some new faces in the chat room since we started this live stream. So again, I want to encourage you guys to go check out each other's channels and subscribe. And as they say in the industry, turn that red box gray, ring that bell, and make sure you interact with these people's channels, because just going over there and subscribing isn't going to do anybody any good. YouTube will kick that subscription out of the water if you're not interacting with those channels. So make sure that you're being a part of everybody's channels. And if you haven't yet, go over to America Bumper to Bumper, my co-host tonight, and hit up his channel, because he's a growing YouTuber, just like myself and just like the rest of you guys. So go over there right now if you haven't done so already, and hit up America Bumper to Bumper. And Kip, go ahead and type something in the chat so they can click on your name and make sure they know where to find you.
Sure thing. We got a question from Rust Belt Mechanic. So when driving to work, radio, music, or silence? For me, it is definitely radio. I cannot do silence unless I'm doing some sort of video. I have to be listening to the tunes.
Well, I'll be truthful with you. I don't generally listen to the radio very much. But if I'm doing a long commute or a long drive, yeah, the radio's going to be on. But usually to work, I don't. Mostly because I had to steal the radio antenna off of Bubbles to put on another car that we had on the car lot that I had to sell. So I don't have any radio even if I wanted it.
So you'd have to do when you're a car salesman, right?
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, and again, because it's Bubbles, I wouldn't have done it if it was my own daily driver, but just because it's that car, I really didn't care.
We got another question from Craving Cars. Top 5 cars to look for at the auto show. What do we think? Jason, why don't you give a couple, and then I'll throw in.
Okay, I'll give you 3 of them right off the top, just because they seem to be the most popular. So one has got to be the new Jeep Gladiator. I've got to go take a look at that. That really has piqued my interest. The new GMC and Chevrolet 2500 series trucks, those I don't know why, but I find that the GM branded trucks right now have really kind of thought outside the box when it comes to styling. So I've really got to go take a look at those. The third one is the just because I'm curious, not for any other reason, but the Toyota Supra. I got to go check it out.
Yeah, I agree with the Supra. I got to see whether it's really everything that everybody's hyped it up to be or not to be. I think another thing, and I'm saying I don't care for Kias, but the Telluride large SUV. That thing, when I first saw it, I said, "Oh my God, that's a GMC or something Chevy." So that has piqued my interest there. Gosh, what was the other one I was thinking? You might have to come back to me on that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of new vehicles out there. Even the Ford Ranger, like some people, you guys were talking about it in the chat there earlier. And my local Ford dealer has a couple of Rangers sitting a lot. And coming back from lunch one day last week, I had to stop and take a look because it's just one of those vehicles that really has piqued my interest. They're not new, folks. These Ford Rangers have been for sale all over the world except for North America for several years. And so they're very, very stylish, and they've really come to join the club when it comes to the mid-size market of pickup trucks. And yes, Craig Durbin, I do know I have a bad connection or a bad mic or something like that. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Unfortunately, we're just dealing with it. So
yeah, it might be on my end too. I don't know what's going on here, but every now and again it seems to go away. So it might be mine when because I think it seems like when I'm talking it doesn't make that sound. I don't know.
Well, usually if you're talking, I'll just mute my mic. So I think that's kind of what I'm trying to do to help.
Oh, maybe that's it. But yeah, future cars that I am definitely interested in checking out is I cannot wait for the new Bronco to come out, or at least a preview of that. I think that's going to be a huge seller for Ford. That's going to be a really interesting vehicle. See if it's really off-road worthy and give Jeep a run for its money. I doubt it, but we'll see.
Yeah, the other one that was that people were talking about was the big, Excursion style, suburban style Dodge counterpart. There's supposedly a big Dodge four-door wagon to compete with the Escalades and the Suburbans and Yukon XLs and stuff like that out there. I'd be really interested to see if those actually make it to the dealership's lot. And maybe Russ Belt Mechanic where he works for a Dodge dealer, maybe he's got a little bit of insight on that. But
that's the first time hearing that. That would be another interesting vehicle.
So I guess we're getting close to shutting down this live stream, guys, and I want to thank everyone for joining. But before we go, this is the point of the live stream where Grant and I would give our shout-outs. And I'm going to give Grant's shout-out to the channel that he wanted to touch on was Johnson T963. And he says it's another one of his longtime subscribers, probably from his first couple of months on YouTube way back in 2015. So once again, once the live stream goes off air, it's going to be his link will be down in the description box. So once this live stream is done, I'll go and I'll put those in there. So if you haven't checked out Johnson T963, go over and check his channel out as well. The shout out that I want to give is to a buddy of mine, Dan Gimmel, and Dan's channel is called GEMMYD on Cars. If you don't follow GEMMYD on Cars, he does a lot of reviews on vehicles as well. and he does a fairly good job at it. He's got some ins with some BMW dealers in the Pennsylvania, Harrisburg area, I believe. So if you haven't checked out GEMMYD on cars, again, his link will be in the description box below, and you guys can check him out. So any last words, Kip, that you want to throw out there to the guests?
If you don't mind, I'm going to throw a shout out too, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
The channel that I chose for my long list of subscriptions is Eric's Garage AZ. He's sitting at about 170 subs right now, and he's got a bunch of amazing videos. The quality is really good on it. He's in, of course, Arizona, so he's actually did some videos from Barrett Jackson, that sort of stuff. So his stuff is really, really, really good. So you guys should check out him as well. Other than that, again, thank you so much for including me and thinking of me to do this live stream. It's been a great time, and yeah, so thanks again.
Well, it was absolutely my pleasure to have you, Kip, and I really appreciate you stepping in on such short notice. And at least I know now that I have someone to fall back on in the event that that Grant is unavailable. So, guys, we're going to close off this live stream, and we're going to thank everybody. I see some thanks and everything going on with everybody in the chat for checking out each other's channels. That's what this is all about. I can't say it enough. Thank you for everybody who has subscribed to me and helped my channel to grow. I think that 1,000 subscriber milestone is very, very quickly approaching, and I want to thank every single one of you guys for making that happen. As you guys know, I close out every video on a positive note, and I'm going to do the same here tonight. So, having said that, I want you guys to all stay focused on the windshield, not the rearview mirror. I love you guys. God bless. We'll see you in the next live stream.